All right, we're recording.
Very good, very good. Hello there, friends and fellow makers. You've got Bill in the shop today.
And Britt.
And we are so excited because today we are making some props, some real life props from our favorite video game, Animal Crossing. Ta-da!
It's that easy.
Good job, Britt.
Is it recording? I think we're good.
Hello there, fellow maker. Welcome to the Real Shop, and you've got Real Bill.
And Real Britt.
And we have been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. I know you guys have been too. And just like when we get infatuated with any video game, we gotta make something from it. What are we making today, Britt?
We're gonna make some of the basic props. We're thinking maybe these will be part of a casual cosplay in the future when, you know, there are conventions again.
And there will be conventions again.
I hope so.
And we'll be very excited to bring along with us what I've already kind of started a little bit, and that is a shovel, and that is completely blown out, but I promise there's a shovel picture on there. And what are you gonna make?
Hopefully the net.
Yeah, so these are obviously super basic things from the game that you get right away, but you use every single day. So we figured those would be fun things to make. And of course, I'm gonna wanna make some stuff out of foam. So I got my foam ready, I got a pattern started, so why don't we dive right in? Here's the pattern that I made. Now I haven't prototyped this yet out of foam, so I don't know how well it's gonna work, but I did make a dart and a curve along the middle of it, so that hopefully I get a little bit of curve out of the shovel head. I'm gonna trace it and cut it out, and if it works well, or I may have to modify it, but either way, I'll get a final version of this, and once I do get that all figured out, I'll give out a free version to you if you would like to make your own.
I can help.
Thank you. Well, that is so useful. I'm gonna start to expect that now. There we go, let's sharpen a knife and cut it out. Oh, is that one of our fancy Punished Props knives that are available in our store at punishedprops.com? Yes, it is, I'm glad you asked. There we go, nothing like a fresh blade for cutting out foam. Got one piece cut out here, and then, got a second one for you. And now it's time to start gluing, and I've got contact cement for that. We actually just did a video on glues for foam. If you're interested to know more, go check that out. I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna start by gluing the darts together.
You got this.
I just lotioned my hands.
Sure, that's...
There it is. Respirator on. Good for more than just pandemics. Or wildfires. I think this is like a 12mm foam. It should be nice and rigid enough for the blade here. And this dart will just help us get a little bit of a curve that way. Now, I can push the middle seam together, and this should really help make kind of a dished shape. Just taking my time, making sure everything comes together nice and level. Really push it together now. Both sides. I'm actually gonna remove a wedge out of the front here on both sides to get the tip to curve up more. It's kind of headed in the wrong direction. This is prototyping in progress here. Do that, and then I can just remove this. basically making a dart here. And when I glue that together, it should, yeah, it's gonna curve the way I want it to. That's more like what I want. Yeah, that looks nice. Stick that back together, there we go. Now that's more of what I wanted, that dish shape there. That looks pretty good. Not bad for totally my first try.
On the first try.
Now I'm gonna just heat form it a little bit over my foam anvil. Evil Ted made this for me.
Aww.
Yeah. All right. I can totally scoop up some fossils with this thing. Next we need the handle connector part. Yeah. Okay, I made a little pattern piece here for that part, and I'm gonna cut it out of a big, thick piece of foam here. This is 2 inches thick. If you don't have 2-inch thick foam, you can just glue a bunch of layers together to make a big chunk. But I'm going to trace this out on both sides so that I can make this round dish eventually. Roundish.
Roundish.
Now you can totally start hacking away at this with a knife, but I'm gonna use the bandsaw. This piece is shaping up here, and now I want to install it, so I got to remove a little material. Make sure it's centered. That would be very sad if it wasn't. That looks okay to me. The shape still looks good. So now I'm going to rough cut this and then refine it with a rotary tool, especially that tight curve right there. Yeah, we'll tidy that up. Okay, let's take our time with this. I only really have one shot at it.
I'll just move over here, it's fine.
I think that looks all right.
I think it looks really cool.
Didn't quite get enough glue around there. I'll go back in and fill that, but this part looks really good. Just smearing some glue down in there. I can clean up a little bit of this with some barge thinner. Oh, that's better. A little bit more tidy. I may have to come in with some quick fill to fill that in. Whatever doesn't want to stick, but that looks all right. And besides, it's on the back. Oh, the front looks so good, so good. The handle is going to be this 1 1/4 inch PVC pipe. That's the outer diameter. And it's going to go in there, and to make the hole, got a big old Forstner bit. That's probably enough. There we go. All right, that went really well. Of course it went really well. I wouldn't have gone really well. Because it's 2020, that's why. Here we go, time for the handle. That's gonna get glued in there in a moment. I wanna figure out how long this ought to be, and it's gonna connect to the top part of the handle here. I think I'm gonna cut a ring of this coupler that's really snug. That'll go inside of this handle so that I can take this apart and it'll fit in my luggage. We just measured and checked. I'm feeling pretty good about cutting this shorter, maybe right there.
This is a piece left over from my sweeper bot mannequin.
Looks straight. Sanded it so it's got a little tooth. Now we attach it with lots of hot glue. Okay. That was a lot of hot glue. That is going to take a while to cool, but it's okay because I'm renowned for being incredibly patient. It's not true. I got more of this 2-inch thick foam to cut out the grip part here. Of course, if you don't have the 2-inch stuff, you can stack a bunch of pieces together. I've done that in so many projects. But if you have the 2-inch thick stuff, it's just so much handier. That should be cut out at the bandsaw. So that'll go in there, looking good. And then I have more PVC pipe as the handle, and eventually that'll go in there. But first I'm just gonna round over all these sharp corners. I lopped off part of this coupler here. That's gonna go in there, and I needed a slightly larger Forstner bit, so I got that. And now I need to drill in about that deep, carefully. Just about there. I'm not gonna need a lot of glue. This is really snug. Cool, very good. So that coupler makes it so I can temporarily put the handle on for when I'm running around at a convention, and then when I need to cram it in my luggage, I can shorten it, stack it up, and it'll fit just fine. Last bit of handle is gonna go in there, and I want a little bit of a recess in there, so again, Forstner bit and extreme caution. That's about enough. Nice positive lock. Yeah. Might as well glue it. Perfect. Before I go too far again, I'm gonna go and clean up all these edges. Ba-da-da-da. It's a shovel! That is pretty fabulous. Just needs a few more finishing touches and then we can paint it up. It is time to fix some of these boo-boos here. This gap, I'm gonna fill in with some quick seal. Try and smooth it out a little bit, hiding our crimes here. Just filling it in. I have this little spatula I can use to kind of smooth it out. You can also just use your finger with some water. I'll probably do that in a second. I can also use this to fill in some of the kind of misaligned seams here a bit. I can sand that down too if I want, but here I am with my putty. This seam was a little janky because I had to prototype it a little bit. That's my excuse anyway. Just filling in the low spot, the low side of it, like that. And this won't be perfect, but it is gonna help it a bit. And then I'll just use a little water on my finger. Smooth it out. This is almost like sanding. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'll do a little more, and there's a couple of other spots, but that's the gist of it there. Looking good. Our quick seal is mostly dry, and I've gone over all my foam with the heat gun to heat seal it. So it's got a nice smooth texture on there. Then I'm gonna do a full seal on this with like 2 or 3 heavy coats of Plasti-Dip. So we have a nice sort of primed surface for our paint. I also went and taped off all the PVC. I don't want to get Plasti-Dip on that. It doesn't really stick to it. We'll paint that like normal later. Today is a new day. I put 3 heavy coats of Plasti-Dip on these parts, and now I want to prime them, but I'm taking the tape off of the plastic here because I want primer on both the plastic and the Plasti-Dip parts. Ready for some ASMR?
Oh yeah. For the net, I got some different kinds of pipe. This is a PVC pipe, it's 1 inch. This is gonna be the handle. I got a little T-joint connector that goes to, I think it's 3/4 inch. And I wanted to get a 3/4 inch pipe for the round net part. I wanted something pretty flexible though, so I went with the PEX pipe, PEX, and I got 3/4 inch, but the diameter isn't measured the same as PVC, so it just goes right through. To make it fit more snugly, I just took some little chunks of PVC pipe that do fit in here, and this was a little too thick, so this didn't fit, so I just sanded it down on the inside using a rotary tool, and now that will fit in snugly. I'm not gonna put it all the way in there right now because that won't come back out very easily, but that's my solution to my measuring problem. But now we have to bend this guy, and it's not as bendy as I thought it was gonna be, so we're gonna have to use some heat. Before I get to the heat, I wanna put these guys in here permanently. I'm gonna use some of this PVP
PVP glue.
You know, it likes to compete against other glues. Before I get to heating, I want to glue these guys in permanently. So I've got some PVC cement. It actually feels like there's not too much left in here. Oh, we're good. All right, this stuff is super stinky, so I'm gonna do this really quickly. Just gonna put some on the outside of that, and it will definitely squeeze out. Some on the inside of that. And hit it with a hammer. All right, if I can't get any farther than that, I'll just sand off the extra, but that is in there. This stuff does take like 24 hours to cure, but I'm not gonna be wrenching on this. I just don't want this to pop out like at the convention. And there we go. I'm training to be a plastic bender. I need some help though. And if I just heat up this pipe and start bending it, I'm probably gonna get like a kink in it. And if that's the look you're going for, if you're gonna be making like the triangle shaped net, that could be perfect, but I'm doing the round one. So to keep it rounded, we're gonna try sand. And to stop the sand coming out the end, I taped this side with a bunch of duct tape. Hopefully that resists the heat and stays on there. And I'll pour the sand down through this side.
There's no way this is ever gonna make a mess. I'm sure of it.
Oh, it's working though. Should I fill the whole thing or just?
Whole thing.
All right. Ooh. That took way less sand than I thought it would. Perfect.
Let's bend.
Now it's even harder to bend. You ready?
I've been ready.
All right. This is a giant bucket we got for tinting our visors, and this circumference here is 5 feet, and this pipe is 5 feet. So I'm thinking we heat this up in sections and try and just form it around this circle. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Got my heat gun on the high setting. Oh, hang on. Oh no. Got our heat gun, and we'll be using the high setting. Got gloves. I mean, what could go wrong? So, oh, that seems pretty bendy. I have a feeling this is gonna take a while. Oh, there we go. I hit the light with a pole. It's really hot. We're gonna let this cool off and go eat some sandwiches.
Sandwiches!
Sandwiches. This tape stuck way better than I thought it would. All right. Oh, there's no way I'm not pouring this all over the table. Oh, there we go. Well, I think that worked pretty well. It's more flexible now that it doesn't have sand in it. So hopefully just test fit it. See if we can do this without me punching myself in the face. No guarantees. Hey, look at that!
It's mostly a circle.
It's mostly a circle. Well, I imagine this part will be flatter because it's going in at a flat angle. There we go. That's actually really cute.
You're gonna catch so many butterflies.
No.
You know, that makes me think we could have just bought a hula hoop.
That would have been too big.
Whoa.
Actually, I'm gonna cut a little bit of this off on either side to make it a tiny bit smaller and see how I like the size. So 1.5 inches on either side. Maybe 3 inches smaller. Nice. Thinking we're gonna need to attach this with some kind of bolt or nut or something, because I imagine this is gonna wanna twist. Oh, and I don't trust glue on this stuff. I'm beginning to think that the PEX pipe, the PEX pipe, might not have been the best choice for this project, but it's gonna work. And it's already red, so we got that going for us. I have to figure out how long the handle should be. This is, I don't know, you think that's too long?
It's a little too long.
Is it, or is it perfect? Our PVC cutter, the little handheld one, is actually pretty poor at cutting 1-inch PVC. Cuts it in an angle and hardly works, so it's time for some overkill. Squeak!
Ta-da!
Yes. There we go. Oh, that's much more reasonable. Ha! Ha! Ha!
Now you can't get me.
Now I just have to fix this.
Yep.
It's a problem. I am gonna eventually do some kind of mechanical connection for this, some kind of pin, but we are gonna glue it in place first. So I'm roughing up this pipe, and it's already the right color, it's already red, but it has this text on it. And what we found is this acetone is very effective.
This magic.
Oh, that's so easy. What's my working time with this?
About a minute.
Oh. Hurry, mix! Faster! So just gonna put this all the way to the half, there we go, kind of halfway. Hey, and I didn't punch myself in the face. That's great. Ta-da. So Bill and I did some thinking. We got some little metal pins, or what is this, like just a chunk of aluminum rod? Mm-hmm. And it's sanded down, and we want to put these through the pipe. First, I'm gonna do a smaller hole. Hopefully this goes straight. Oh, that's not straight. Oh, there we go. It is time for primer. Except for the red part, we're not gonna paint that. We're just gonna paint this joint and the whole handle with primer. This plastic works great to save time on masking. I think this is the first roll we've ever bought and we've never gone through it, so it's like a lifetime supply.
Now that our props are primed, it's time for paint. And we're going super simple on these. I'm gonna hand brush all my colors. I have some acrylic paints here ready to go. I also have this piece here still so I can hold it, and I have a clamp ready to go so that I can let it dry without laying it down on anything. So I'm totally prepped to cover this thing with some red paint. The handle is red. I'm saying that as much for my benefit as yours. It is probably going to take a couple of coats to cover, and that's okay. But as far as the technique goes, I'm just going for coverage.
I like that color.
It is very vibrant. You like my quarantine haircut? Going with this pewter Angelus because I like this darker metallic color.
Ooh, painting gray on gray.
This is exciting footage.
Oh, it looks shiny though.
It does, it's so shiny. I am mixing up like a tan color for the wooden handle on the shaft here, and since Britt's holding the camera, I'll go ahead and paint your handle as well.
Thank you. That looks nice.
Yeah, just like the other stuff, it's gonna take a couple layers, but this should be just fine.
This is supposed to be the same color as the hoop. Try to color match it. I'm sure it won't be perfect, and that's okay.
I let my paint dry overnight. It is dry, but it is a little tacky. So I'm gonna seal all of this stuff with some clear varnish that'll dry really fast and take away all this slight stickiness.
This is just on there forever now. Okay, look at that. Kind of matches. Now the next part to do is the net. And for that, we have a bunch of this linen fabric, kind of. I don't know what we originally got this for, but we got a lot of it. So that's what it's gonna be made out of. Let's do it.
Check it.
Check it.
It's a big sock.
It's a giant Smurf hat.
It's Smurf-tacular.
I'm not even gonna try and glue the fabric to this pipe, so we're gonna stitch it on. So I'm marking some holes where the needle's gonna go, 1 inch apart, because we have a curved needle that will hopefully loop through these and stitch the fabric to the inside of this.
That's what we want.
Doubles as a musical instrument. Wanted my net to be a little smaller. There we go, that is much more manageable. I want this to be posed kind of like in motion when I'm posing for pictures. Right now it's a little floppy. So we got some wire. I think this is just armature wire that we twisted together with a drill to get it nice and strong. And that'll go in here. But we need to permanently attach it to this frame. Oh, that's snug. Yes. And maybe stitch this a little bit to the seam, kind of hide it a little bit and keep it in place, but that should work. Nice snug fit. Goofy little wire net. We did end up drilling holes all the way through and then hooking the wire over it. There's just a lot of leverage and force going on with this fabric, but that looks super cute. Nah. Nah.
Look out, a scorpion!
Ah, get him! Now, I could be all done with this net, but we were thinking, how cool would it be if I had something to catch with this net? Thanks. This is 2mm foam, but it's not normal density, it's a higher density. It's the kind that you can buy and it says it's designed to be sewn through for like fabric. I think we got this from TNT Cosplay Supply, but it has a really good rigidity to it and it's nice and thin. I love it. And now we're gonna jam this wire in its butt.
No context.
There we go. It's perfect.
Oh, it
no.
happens. It happens. We'll go get another one. Ta-da. You're in focus. Are we rolling? We're rolling. Da-da-da-da. That's the wrong game.
Whoopoo!
Woo! Yeah! Look at our adorable Animal Crossing props. I love your butterfly.
I love your shovel.
Isn't it the best?
It's great.
This was a ton of fun, you guys. I hope you enjoyed following along. This is gonna be a great thing to have as like a casual costume at a convention, because you can wear pretty much whatever and be a human from Animal Crossing, and then run around digging holes and chasing butterflies. If you're super into prop making, especially foam prop making, we've got a series of books called the Foamsmith series that written and photographed by me and edited by Brittany, and totally published by us right here out of our shop. Foamsmith 2 is all about making props specifically, with 2 really cool example projects, this blaster from Destiny and this big old axe from Diablo. So if that's your jam, punishprops.com has the full trilogy, Foamsmith 1, 2, and 3. Available right now in both print and digital. Pretty cool, huh, Britt?
It's awesome.
Both of our props come apart so they can fit in luggage. Britt's breaks apart right there. Mine, the handle comes off so that we can make it compact.
I take it apart, but I think the paint made it stick together.
It's pretty stuck, it's in there. And again, all of that sort of, those sort of techniques are covered in length in Foamsmith 2. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you especially to the members of our Extra Credit Club for keeping this boat afloat, especially over the last few months. You guys are wonderful, beautiful human beings, and we couldn't do all of this without you. If you'd like to join the club, there are links down below to both Patreon and just joining on the membership on YouTube gets you into the club as well, which gets you a bunch of behind the scenes vlogs with the 2 of us, and some extra little projects around the shop. So if that's your jam and you want to help us out, we appreciate it a ton. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next build.
See ya.
Bye. All right.
Yeah. Only 1 injury.
Yeah, only 1 injury. Stabbed myself in the hand. Didn't get it on camera.